Mage changes.
Hey!
All right, so we have first of all the living bomb explosion visual now only plays on the unit that is.
Wait, I remember they announcing that this would go live in 11:05.
It's big.
I couldn't tell that
this will bump your damage in the rage flame, like the visuals.
Especially if you pick the living bomb talent, that would go a long way into bumping its damage for sure.
Oh man, they give so much love, quote unquote love to living bomb, but nobody plays it. We're gonna get to it, but let's start it off with Arcane. Oh, you want to go through the general ones?
Sure.
Okay, so hypothermia will now guarantee heating up, hot streak, and critical strikes when casting Flamestrike.
Okay.
Icy Vase no longer consumes ice flows. Living bomb can no longer hit or spread to dead targets.
Oh my god, that's the one. Oh my.
This was a big problem. I know, I know.
This was such a stupid bug to have, man. When you were hitting
wasted
bombs
so much,
and it would just hit the dead targets. Oh, you're dead, bull. You're
burn.
And it's not like it's hitting everything and the dead targets. No, there's a target cap, and it would, instead of hitting the live targets, it would hit the dead targets. So that actually goes. And funnily enough, we'll probably get to it. But I did play living bomb today, so
we'll get to it. First, let's talk about Arcane.
The actual spec that matters.
Okay, so Arcane here is a thing of beauty, right? We all know Arcane Mage is like kind of like the king right now in like all spectrums.
Single target for sure.
Him and Arcane and Fury. I've seen some Arcane in Mythic Plus doing
well, but it's not. In AoE it doesn't compare. I don't think it compares to Frost, and it doesn't compare to a lot of other specs.
Yeah, it still holds its own. That's what I'm saying. So like overall, Arcane is a great package. It got nerfed all across the board. So we have Arcane Blast reduced by 5%. We have Arcane Missiles damage reduced by 8%. Sun Fury Meteorite damage reduced by 15%. Burden of Power damage bonus for Arcane Blast reduced to 20%. It used to be 30. Burden of Power damage bonus for Arcane Barrage reduced to 20%. This also used to be 30. And they fixed an issue that allowed Arcane Mages to generate 2 Fire Spheres at once.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like if you aggregate all of these nerfs, I don't know how much the impact is. It's not, right?
It's fine. I mean, this is the kind of nerfs that you want to see. This is the kind of nerfs that probably Fire Mages wanted to see instead of just being gutted into the floor. Definitely takes Arcane Mage down a peg. It's not a lot. It's not enough to make it not the best mage spec in raid at the very least, and it's definitely not enough to make it a dead spec, so it's fine. I think some of the biggest... okay, so we talked about the DK hero talents changes. The Sun Fury being addressed basically just bridges the gap between it and Spellslinger, which Spellslinger is severely underpowered. And this is a breakdown of the damage that you can see, so you can kind of put it into perspective. I guess this is from a raid fight, from a single target fight?
I think so, yeah.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, the damage is still gonna be fine. I think the biggest problem that Arcane Mages are facing today is the bug that I think has been created by the fix that they've addressed here. I think Porn from the Arcane Mage community made a post on Wowhead. It's a whole article about it. That bug, from what I understand, kind of made some of the Race World First Mages switch from Arcane to Frost. Because the bug is so silly to play with, it's so unfun, and it just really messes with your overall performance. Likely not gonna last very long, considering that they are very proactive at fixing all of these bugs rather. But it just goes to show that Arcane is just on a wild roller coaster trip, and it has been ever since it's been reworked. It's a little bit of a shame sometimes, but hopefully, it doesn't get the Fire Mage streaming, because Arcane needs some love.
I don't see it. I don't see it going that far down. But you can clearly see it.
Well, not now anyway, because everybody's maining Arcane right now. You don't want to kill everybody's main now.
For sure. It's obvious that you can see the Arcane Blast and the Arcane Missiles there, being on top of the damage profile of Arcane. So these are the ones that are taking the hits. Okay, they reduce the meteorite damage, but looking at it, it's not...
That's probably just to make Sun Fury more in tune with Spellslinger. That's neither here nor there. The Arcane Blast 5% damage nerf, I mean, just taking this log, which is not all logs, but this log essentially takes 1%, maybe not even 1% away from the overall performance of Arcane Mage, but obviously coupled with the Burden of Power, which happens every so often, and Arcane Missiles as well. It's going to take away a little bit of that single target power, which is fine, because, for instance, Arcane was about 30% ahead of Fire Mage, which is crazy, and I think still about like 5 to 10% above everybody else, which is a pretty big margin to have, pretty big delta there.
All right, we're getting there. Hold your horses. We're getting there.
Fire.
So, Fire. All right. Fire is touched. It's saved, guys. Look at the whole list of changes for fire. It's amazing. But at least you have like an overall buff of 6%.
For sure.
This went again live this Wednesday. But living bomb damage has increased by 25%. Now listen, we looked at logs. We looked at everything we can. Nobody's playing living bomb.
Nope.
I don't know what the hell. So I think their philosophy is we have to make this talent work. We have to make living bomb a thing, and people will love it and want to play it. The question is it enough? Now,
well, this is I think this is the log that I did today.
yes, this is from the dungeon.
I
earlier.
have played the most living bombish build I think you can probably play to put as much damage into living bomb as possible, and you can see it's not that bad. Even so, I think in this particular one, it was 7% of my overall damage, and this is after I've practiced with the build a little bit. I think I had a previous log where it was 11%, but that was like still very generous, which it might feel good considering it was 2% or not even before at the release of the season. But you have to take into consideration that this living bomb is essentially 8 talent points synced into this one mechanic, and it's not like multiple points into the same node. It's 8 different nodes doing, you know, the 7% of the damage that you have, which is very, very, very tiny. Like, take a look at your talent tree for your spec, take away 8 points and see how that spec plays, essentially. So this is still not enough. It's okay. It's not that bad. You can actually play it and not be a super troll, but you're probably still not going to play this in any competitive manner.
No, but seriously now, like if they really want to push this living bomb playstyle, because it is like really far in the talent tree, they would need to buff it maybe like 125%.
Yeah, that's
so like make it like top damage profile, you know?
Well, just so you know where we're coming from, I can vaguely recall how it was in beta before it was nerfed. Basically, living bomb was in place of ignite. That's how it used to be.
Right,
So
yeah,
and after 2 buffs, it's still not even halfway there. The thing with living bomb is, like, I don't know their philosophy because I don't think they've publicly stated their philosophy, but living bomb should kind of be like an alternative to the ramp up style of Fire Mage, which is great in high-end content, but for people who just tried lower keys, having that instant access to burst was great. Now, the way it was on the beta before it got nerfed into the ground was a little bit too degenerate, because you were just pressing combust, one fire blast, and then everything exploded.
Yeah.
It was cool, it felt nice, but it was a little bit too much. But the problem is that they've reworked living bomb. They've added the cool new animation. So it's a lot.
They put a lot of investment into it. This is why it feels a shame, and I feel this is why they're trying to push it. But these like small increments,
they're very careful.
Yeah,
because
like
it could knock the whole meta out if they overbuff living bomb. Like everybody.
This is what I'm expecting, yo, because they're gonna get there. Okay, not knock the meta off, but they're gonna get there for sure. So you hold on to your fire dream. Keep on keeping on.
I'm holding on. Hopefully the guild holds on to me too during our progression.
But is Fire Mage saved at this moment?
No. I mean, it's not dead. It's, you know,
it's OP.
It depends on how you call save, right? Listen, if there's a corpse in the ground and the corpse started doing, I mean, that corpse is kind of safe, but it's not gonna fight in the war yet, right? It still has a long way to go.
Still has to be, okay, operated on and stuff like that. Okay, confirmed here. You heard it first, right? This is Fire Mage not saved just yet, but we're getting there.
First state first.